Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of Hollywood's most iconic legends, Clint Eastwood. A man who redefined the Western, mastered efficient filmmaking, and built a legendary partnership with Warner Brothers in the process. In an industry that's constantly evolving, few figures embody both the rugged spirit of the Old West and the precise efficiency of a seasoned filmmaker, quite like Eastwood. Over the decades, he's built a reputation as unyielding as the characters he plays. A journey that started in front of the camera and evolved into a WikiHow in directing.
I gotta tell you before you hire me, I don't work cheap.
Before we get started, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. Your likes, shares, and comments fuel these videos.
I don't think it's nice you laughing.
And also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and join in on the conversation. Alright, let's get into it.
Get 3 coffins ready.
This is Easy Review's Clint Eastwood, Hollywood's most dependable director. Clint Eastwood's journey didn't begin in the glitz of blockbuster premieres. It started in the humble corridors of early television and the vibrant set of classic Hollywood. His role in the television series Rawhide wasn't just an acting gig. It was a formative experience that molded his persona and storytelling style. On Rawhide, Eastwood learned the importance of discipline, subtlety, and authenticity, values that would later become the hallmark of his work, both in front of and behind the camera. Growing up during an era when film noir's grit met the mythic allure of the American West, Eastwood absorbed a variety of influences. Directors like John Ford and Sergio Leone, who celebrated vast, rugged landscapes and morally complex characters, played a significant role in shaping his personal philosophy.
Yeah, I don't know. I went on the Rawhide for 8 years. I used to practice with guns all the time, but we didn't use them too much in that type of a show. But Fistful of Dollars is a different type of thing, and a chance to play a different type of character.
Do you think of yourself as a sort of classical cowboy, you know, the Tom Mix of 1967 or something?
Well, not in these films, no. In these films, the character in Fistful he's the epitome of anti-heroism, and he's one of the few westerns in which the hero sort of instigates conflict in the story. Most of the time, all conflict in a western especially is instigated by the villain. In this case, the hero sort of throws kerosene on the fire, and it comes out with an interesting result, I think.
So he's not the traditional hero at all, then?
No, definitely not. I think we tried purposely to stay away from the traditional hero, veer as far away as possible.
What are the problems of making Italian westerns?
Well, the Italian director, the Italians, of course, are famous for making earthy films, and this goes good with a western. I think this Italian director that I worked for had a different feel, a non-Hollywoodian, if there's an expression like that, feel, and I think it comes off effectively. At least it comes off different.
You must have some difficulties with names. I mean, can't really imagine a western hero called Alfonso or something.
Well, I think there's an Italian actor named Giuliano Gemma who changed his name to Montgomery Wood. I don't know if I think he's changed it back. He speaks Italian. He doesn't speak any English. He speaks Italian. I don't know if any of these films have played outside of Italy, but he's one example.
Do you think that the traditional western, with the good hero being very good and the bad man being very bad, is on the way out?
No, I don't think it's on the way out. I just think that now they'll try to maybe modernize it a little bit, maybe not have the white hat hero be so white hat. And it used to be in the old days the hero always wore a white hat and rode a white horse, and the villain was always dressed in black. But I think they're going to get away from
These early influences instilled in him a respect for practical effects, understated emotion, and a deep-rooted belief that simplicity and authenticity can speak louder than any flashy spectacle. But while television gave Eastwood stability and recognition, it wasn't where his ambitions lay. He spent much of the late 1950s and early 1960s searching for the kind of roles that would elevate him beyond the small screen. Hollywood, however, wasn't eager to hand him a leading role just yet. It wasn't until an offer from an Italian filmmaker, Sergio Leone, that Eastwood finally got his big break. Trading in his clean-cut rawhide image for a stubble, cigar-smoking gunslinger, he would soon transform into one of cinema's most iconic figures. Eastwood's career is a masterclass in duality. His rise as the enigmatic man with no name, and Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns, established him as a cultural icon. Yet, while his on-screen persona captivated audiences, his transition into directing revealed an equally compelling creative force. His directorial debut, 1971's Play Misty for Me, introduced a minimalist approach marked by long, deliberate takes, a technique that pulled viewers into the intimate, suspenseful narrative. But Eastwood wasn't content with replicating his past successes. Just a few years after, in 1973's High Plains Drifter, he evolved into a storyteller who could imbue his characters with mythic qualities, portraying a vengeful anti-hero who was as much of an avenging spirit as he was a human figure. Later, the outlaw Josie Wales in 1976 fused raw action with profound emotional storytelling. Later, directing roles in films like Gran Torino in 2008 and The Mule in 2018 not only resonate with audiences but also offer insight into his directorial mindset. Eastwood's understated, everyman style on screen reflects his belief in authenticity and simplicity, a belief that carries over to his directing. He often emphasizes that a great performance should be captured in the first take, stating, "I like to keep it simple. I trust my actors to give me their best from the first take."
I'm also a big proponent of casting a film properly, regardless of genre. If you cast it really well, and people fit the parts, and it captures the imagination, I think you're halfway there, or more than halfway there. Then you can sort of stay out of the way.
This philosophy, honed through decades of acting and directing, creates a holistic vision where his on-screen presence informs his narrative style, marrying emotion with efficiency. As Eastwood continued refining his craft, his films not only showcased his efficiency, but also his growing independence as a filmmaker. By the late 1970s, he had established himself as a bankable director, with a distinct vision, one that prioritized realism, methodical pacing, and emotional depth over Hollywood spectacle. This newfound confidence in his abilities also meant that he needed a studio that would trust him to work on his own terms. Ironically, that studio would be the very same one that had once dismissed him. Clint Eastwood's long-standing relationship with Warner Brothers didn't start with trust. It started with rejection. In the 1950s, before he found success, the studio fired him, claiming he lacked the charisma of a leading man. Executives reportedly found that his Adam's apple was too prominent, his acting too stiff, and his demeanor too soft-spoken. Rather than let this setback define his career, Eastwood proved them wrong. He built himself up through television and spaghetti westerns, eventually becoming one of the most bankable actors of this time. And, in a full-circle moment, he would later return to Warner Brothers, not as a struggling young actor, but as their most dependable director and a box office powerhouse. In an industry notorious for transient alliances, Eastwood's enduring relationship with Warner Brothers stands as a testament to creative trust and mutual respect. Unlike many directors who hop between studios, Eastwood cultivated a stable partnership that allowed him to seamlessly blend artistic vision with commercial viability.
I think that in the motion picture making field, the director is the most responsible for stylizing the piece as it's written, and putting a style on it, and putting a tempo and breathing life into it. It's a very gratifying department, and it's a fun departure from just acting in a film. Doing both jobs at the same time, and a little hectic, but I enjoyed it. Don't look forward to doing it as a rule, because the very next picture I made after Play Misty was back with Don Siegel directing. I have to admit it was somewhat of a relief to just be doing the one job. I directed 3 or 4 sequences of that film, but it doesn't have the whole weight of the thing on your shoulders.
Films such as Unforgiven in 1992 and $1 Million Baby in 2004 not only reimagined classic genres, but also earned him multiple Academy Awards and Golden Globes. His collaboration with Warner Brothers provided him the creative latitude to experiment while keeping production costs in check, an achievement that's become increasingly rare with today's era of blockbuster budgets and extended reshoots. Central to his success is what has come to be known as the Eastwood method. Famous for his one-take philosophy, Eastwood has repeatedly demonstrated that simplicity and trust in his cast and crew can yield performances that are both authentic and compelling. His dedication to shooting on real locations rather than relying on CGI not only saves costs, but also infuses his films with a tangible, raw realism, something that modern audiences continue to appreciate. Although Clint Eastwood is often synonymous with westerns, his directorial prowess spans a wide range of genre. Venturing into historical epics, he directed Flags of Our Fathers in 2006, and Letters from Iwo Jima also in 2006, both offering audiences two contrasting yet complementary views of war. These films provide not only a deep dive into historical events, but also a poignant reminder of the human cost of conflict, presenting stories from both American and opposing perspectives. In J. Edgar in 2011, Eastwood tackled the controversial and enigmatic life of the FBI's first director. Blending meticulous attention to period detail with his signature minimalist style, he crafted a narrative that was as much of a character study as it was a historical exploration. Behind the scenes, tales of Eastwood's efficiency only adds to his legend. These anecdotes highlight a director who is both fearless in his creative choices and steadfast in his belief that restraint can produce the most powerful cinematic moments. But as Eastwood's legacy continues to shape filmmakers today, one question remains: how much longer will he continue to direct? At 94, he stands as one of the last great auteurs of Hollywood's golden era, still working, still telling stories, and even as the industry around him has moved in a different direction, he's now released one of his latest films, Juror Number 2, possibly being his final film. We may now be witnessing the last chapter of a career that has spanned more than 6 decades. At 94, Clint Eastwood remains a formidable presence in Hollywood. However, the quiet, understated release of Juror Number 2 has sparked widespread speculation about whether this might be the closing chapter of his illustrious career. With minimal promotional efforts and a release that seems to reflect a deliberate, low-key farewell, many viewers and critics alike are left wondering if this is the end of an era. Yet even as rumors of retirement swirl, Eastwood's later acting roles in films like Gran Torino, The Mule, and Cry Macho continue to reflect his deep, personal engagement with storytelling. These roles, much like his directorial ventures, speak to themes of aging, legacy, and resilience. Whether Juror Number 2 serves as his final bow, or merely another pivot in his career, it undeniably invites us to reflect on a long-lasting influence of a man who has continuously redefined what it means to be both an actor and a director. Whether or not Juror Number 2 is his final film, there's no denying that his impact on Hollywood will endure. Clint Eastwood's career has garnered critical acclaim, amassed a plethora of awards, and influenced an entire generation of filmmakers who continue to draw inspiration from its minimalist, character-driven style. More than just a collection of cinematic achievements, his body of work raises enduring questions in an era dominated by digital wizardry and spectacle. So what do you think? Has Clint Eastwood's classic, efficient style become a relic, or does Hollywood still need filmmakers like him? What's your favorite Clint Eastwood directed film? Let's get a discussion going in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, help keep the channel going by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Keep watching great movies. I'll see you next time.